Have you ever been in a situation your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere, or maybe you get a bill in the mail for some medical thing just out of the blue, right? Next thing you're in some sort of financial crisis because you don't have the money to pay for this. Well, today we're going to talk about how we can avoid that. An emergency fund. All right, so let's get into it. So, an emergency fund is a fund that you set aside for unexpected events, right? Anything that could come up. And the purpose is to provide a safety net, a financial safety net for you, so that you're not basically caught off guard. You get a flat tire or whatever. Well, an emergency fund is not for saving or investing or getting some concert tickets, right? Or some impulse buy, going out for an emergency Starbucks because you're tired. That's not an emergency fund. It's not for any kind of get rich quick or anything like that, right? So one of the thing is, the reason that you want to have an emergency fund is you want to avoid going into debt with credit cards, right? High interest cards, having to tap into investment accounts if you had a 401k or something like that, having to tap into those funds, not taking out a loan, or worst case, maybe like a payday loan or one of those predatory loans. If an emergency comes up and you need cash, these are some of the things that folks have turned to, right? And it's a really stressful situation when you have something like this in your life. It comes up and you don't have the money to pay for it, right? It turns things that could be just an inconvenience, right, into a full-blown crisis. All right, so how much money should you save? Well, $1,000 is really the minimum that I think people should shoot for, regardless of your income. Now, for some folks, it might take a while to save $1,000. Everybody's different. Everybody has different incomes. But ideally, you want to have a fully funded 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Now, basically, the way you're going to calculate this is you're going to do a budget. And I actually have a video a little bit on budgeting. Maybe I'll link it here or there or whatever. And then, so you just list out all your monthly expenses, whatever those are. And then you're just going to multiply it by 3 or 6, right, to come up with your number. Everybody's going to have a different number. Now, do I need 3 months or do I need 6 months? So if you're single, you don't have any kids, you have good income, maybe you have 2 incomes, maybe you're in a relationship and you and your significant other both make money, then you might be able to get away with 3 months. 6 months, if you're a single income household and you're a parent, you have kids. If you're self-employed, if your income is irregular, maybe you're in sales or something like that. If you have some sort of chronic health issues that are really expensive, maybe you're type 1 diabetic, or you got to take medicine and you have to pay out of pocket for that or whatever. I'm not going to get into the specific scenarios, but you get what I'm saying. So then you would probably want to have 6 months, right? And then you want to keep this money in its own account that's easy to get to, but not in your regular banking account, right? So some good options, I have a whole video on saving, and I'll link that also. But high yield online savings accounts are a really great option. So there's lots of providers out there like Discover, Ally. I'll try to put some links, and those are great options for putting an emergency fund in. You can easily transfer the funds. A lot of them have a debit card that you can link with it. So you could literally go to the ATM and get the cash if you needed to it, right? And so now you have this emergency fund, you have the money in there. Before you use it, you want to ask yourself a few questions, right? So is this an unexpected expense, right? When it comes up, is it necessary? Obviously, like we talked about your car breaking down. If you use your car to get to work, then it's going to be necessary. Is it urgent, right? Is it something that you could hold off on for a little bit? If the answer to those questions, unexpected, necessary, urgent, if all three of those are yes, then it's probably an emergency and you need to use your emergency fund. So building up this emergency fund, you need to treat it like a bill every month. And however much you can put aside, you want to work that into your budget and just keep slowly building it up over time. You might have to find some areas to cut back. You might have to cancel a streaming service or not go out for coffee or something like that in order to put aside the money, right? But making small, consistent deposits, even small amounts, even $20, right, on a regular basis will slowly build up this emergency fund for you. All right. So let's just recap a little bit. So this emergency fund, it's super important. Having it will make life's inconveniences not turn into huge crisis, right? It will help you avoid going into debt. It will help you avoid touching your retirement. It'll give you a lot of peace of mind just knowing, hey, I have this if something comes up. So start building. If you don't have an emergency fund, start working on it today. Today's the best day to get started, right? Today's the first day of the rest of your life, right? And anyways, if you have questions, if you're not sure, or if you want more details, you can reach out to me in the comments. I reply to all my comments. I really like it when people comment. Of course, I'm going to do the plug. Don't forget to subscribe and, share this with somebody if you think they need help with setting up an emergency fund. Until next time, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you then.